Fear has controlled my life since I was young, and I would try to cope with it in all the wrong ways.
Having suffered multiple forms of abuse from a neighbor, she began questioning how God could love her if there was so much going wrong in her life. This, coupled with an unknown source of abdominal pain, led her to drop out of school, which left her feeling isolated from friends and even family.
I just started to turn toward anything that would help take away the pain, the emotional pain and the physical pain, and I started using cutting as a form of self-harm. By the age of 16, I had planned to take my life 3 times, but each time something stopped me. And at the age of 22, my husband and I finally got answers to the abdominal pain that I had been feeling since I turned 13. And we were told that it took my ability to ever have children. And I think that that is kind of when my world started to crumble. And I was questioning everything and wanted to know what my purpose was. Why am I here if I can't do what God created a woman to do? What's my purpose?
At this point in her life, Monica was on 13 prescription medications to help her manage day-to-day life and to allow her to sleep at night. She was still using self-harm, but she began to feel something tug at her heart.
Something hit me one day, and I knew I needed to stand up and fight this. I couldn't continue with a life so terrified of everything that even the grocery store was intimidating. I would have to take breaks every so many aisles at the grocery store to cope with the anxiety. I never left my house unless I absolutely had to. Depression and fear had me in their grasp. I started to see a counselor to talk through things that were weighing me down, but it was what I felt on the way to and from seeing her that really caught my attention. It was the church on top of the hill.
Being raised in church, Monica knew the story of Jesus, but she'd never personally felt his love. It was here, in the parking lot, that something unexpected was about to happen.
The cross on the church was really tugging at my heart. I started to spend time in the parking lot for any reason I could find. I would play basketball, read my Bible, pray, and honestly just question life. One morning, after a particularly rough night, I drove to the parking lot to bandage my leg after self-harming, and God showed up. I'll never forget the feeling. He led me to Psalm 118:5. I cried out to the Lord in my anguish, and he answered by setting me free. It was then that I made a promise to never turn to cutting again.
God met Monica right where she was, out in the parking lot. He stepped in and took her pain. After her newfound freedom, she began to express herself in a way she had always enjoyed: photography.
I was looking back on the hurts, the emptiness, the failures, and I began to see it all a bit differently. I saw how he saved me each time I had planned to end my life, and for the first time, I felt like maybe he did have a plan for me. I dug into my Bible daily, hungry for more of what God had shown me.
After 2 months of spending time in the parking lot, Monica was still anxious to attend a Sunday service. Her first time inside the church was on a Wednesday evening with a small prayer group. Not being ready to meet anyone yet, she sat in the back by herself and listened.
I looked online for contact information and emailed Pastor to ask if I could sit in the back row. I didn't want to talk to anyone, I just kind of wanted to feel this place out. With a past church hurt, I was still very scared to let my guard down, but something shifted inside me that night. Listening to the hunger this small group had, and I knew that whatever was about to happen was going to be different. It was time to leave the shadows and step into a new light. My first Sunday inside was on Easter, just a few weeks later. The pure joy that exploded from souls during worship was like nothing I had ever witnessed. I was welcomed into this place as if I'd always been a member and never left. That morning, I felt the Lord wash over me like a wave. The heat that went through my entire body cleansed me. I have no doubt that moment is when he made me new. I fully accepted Christ as my Savior on Easter Sunday, and I immediately knew I was a different person inside.
Feeling and knowing she was loved by God, Monica was given a brand new outlook on life.
In my Father's house,
Having a personal relationship with the Lord now, I was quickly transforming from the girl who was afraid of everything into the woman God was calling me to be. I still had some anxiety, but I jumped into Pathway to Freedom classes, inner healing sessions, and was baptized before the Lord and my new family. I was baffled at just how many people of God stood beside me and without an ounce of judgment toward me. I was shown nothing but love and acceptance from the moment I stepped foot inside the church.
Since that Easter morning, Monica has been healed of sleep issues, and her prescription medications have decreased by almost 70%. She no longer relies on the self-harm she used to run to, and has been free from it for 5 years. While God's still working in other areas of her life, He's given Monica opportunities to share her story with others who need a change in their story as well.
I encountered the undeniable love of Christ, and nothing else compares. Don't ever think that where you are is where you will be forever. When it looks like you've hit the end of your story, God sees a brand new beginning. The only thing in life that has ever been greater than my fear is my God.
Fear you don't